Good afternoon, Malacañang Press Corps. Good afternoon, Presidential Spokesperson, Attorney Harry Roque.
Magandang hapon, Pilipinas, and good afternoon to the ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps. Our Monday good news: the Philippines continues to sustain its economic momentum. The Japan Credit Rating Agency (JRC) affirmed the country's BBB+ credit rating and its stable outlook. According to JRC, this economic growth is attributed to a solid domestic demand, the government's comparatively sound fiscal position, as well as our resilience to external shocks supported by declining external debt and accumulation of foreign exchange reserves. Similarly, Standard & Poor S&P Global Rating upgraded the country's credit rating from stable to positive, citing the government's improved policies, including implementation of tax reform for acceleration and inclusion train law and the Build program. Good news, we welcome the latest report that the Philippines has remained out of the U.S. government's watch list of countries with poor intellectual property rights protection and enforcement for the fourth consecutive year. The latest edition of the Special 301 report released by the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative showed that the Philippines continues to maintain a conducive environment for intellectual property through our vigorous campaign to fight counterfeiting and piracy. Non-Kuwait. What the President announced is the maintenance of the status quo until we have reached or signed a memorandum of agreement providing for the minimum terms and conditions of employment of our nationals. The ban stays. Now, is this permanent as reported by some media outfit? Well, let's just say it stays right now because the precondition set by the President is really the signing of that memorandum of agreement. As you know, Secretary Bello and other cabinet members will be leaving for Kuwait on the 7th, which means that the process of diplomatic negotiations and conversation continues as we speak. Now, on the reported 60 million contract awarded by Secretary Teo to her siblings, she already had a press conference. She belied such reports. However, I would like to confirm that the palace is looking into the matter. We will, that's it. Questions?
Question. Thank you, Spokesroque. Question, MPC Laila, Inquirer, please.
Good morning, sir.
Yes,
sir,
good morning.
In the meantime, sir, do we have any mechanism to protect the OFWs who will choose to stay in Kuwait?
Of course. We don't have an ambassador, but there is a charge d'affaires. There is a diplomatic mission. Diplomatic ties remain, which means that we have a mission there to protect our nationals. And Kuwait also is duty-bound to protect aliens under the standards dictated by international law, under terms and conditions which are not inferior to the way that they treat their own nationals.
So, sir, to be clear, we're still trying to salvage the MOA that was drafted.
Let's just say that we're trying to normalize as much as we could ties with Kuwait.
And is the President...
That's the President's statement. He is not picking a fight with Kuwait. The President was very somber. He was very calm. He says that if Kuwait does not want our workers, then he would ask them to come home. But he has expressed profound gratitude for the fact that Kuwait has employed many of our nationals. So the whole tenor was non-confrontational. It is not as if we are escalating it as reported by some media outlets.
Sir, is the President going to be involved in this normalization of ties? Baka kasi it might need further higher level talks.
Well, I think there are some actions already being taken. In due course, it will be announced.
Sir, last na lang from me. Is the President holding anybody responsible for the actions that had angered Kuwait?
Well, I trust that Secretary Cayetano will take care of these matters. But it's unnecessary to discuss these things because they are more important matters to attend to at this stage.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laila. Next question, Chona Yu from Radyo Inquirer, followed by Henry Uri.
Sir, balik ko lang doon kay Secretary Teo. You said that the palace is looking into the matter. Could you expound on that? What do you mean by that? Does the
Nothing. That's exactly
will
it.
conduct its own investigation yung palace?
Well, alam nyo na naman ang procedure natin dito sa Palace. There are news reports. The President will look into it. There will be some kind of an investigation conducted, and the Palace will decide its course of action. No? But how many times have we done this? I think I've been here almost 6 months. There's been quite a number of news reports that were investigated by the Palace, and there were actions taken by the President. No? So let's put it at that. Let's leave it at that.
Kasi sir, the President said time and again na even a small whiff of corruption. So paano nyo mag-strike ng balance?
Shona, I assure you, the Palace will investigate the matter. We cannot, of course, we have to accept the findings of the COA. I understand this is a final finding, but the Palace will investigate on its own.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Still on that subject matter, Henry. Okay. Henry Uri, please. TZRX.
Hi, sir. Pero umabot na ho ba sa kaalaman mismo ng Pangulo yung nangyari po sa Department of Tourism at ano ho ang sabi niya?
Well, ang alam ko po, umabot na yung balita. I can confirm na umabot na po ang balita, and I can confirm na meron na pong let's look into this.
May utos po siya na imbestigahan.
Well, let's look into this. Gusto po niya malaman ang punot dulo ng pinag-uusapan dito.
Yung the word na let's look into this, galing po mismo sa Pangulo?
Well, meron namang executive privilege kahit papano, no? But I can assure you it will be looked into. The Palace is looking into the matter.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Same subject, Trisha. Okay. Trisha Zapra, GMA.
Sir, just to clarify, yung Secretary Teo stayed in her position while being investigated in the matter.
Wala kang mic, hindi nakuha ang question mo.
Mike, please. Mike, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, will Secretary Teo be staying in her position as Tourism Secretary while being investigated on the matter?
No reason for her to leave.
And sir,
No.
May I ask a question on another
Yes, Risha.
matter? Sir, President Duterte mentioned something about using funds from China to repatriate our OFWs from Kuwait. Sir, what will be the status of that pronouncement by the President, considering that, as earlier said, status quo muna tayo about the ban
No,
on deployment?
status quo ang arrangement, no, as far as the deployment ban is concerned. But the President has said those who want to come home, the government will assist, no? And so, of course, the fund that the President was referring to was the fund promised by China, no, which was equivalent to roughly 4.8 billion pesos. I can't remember the exact figure in RMB. I dare not guess a figure, but I'm sure it was a equivalent to 4.8 billion pesos. No? So that's the that's the fund that the President will use as travel fund if necessary. But again, this is voluntary. He is not compelling anyone to come home. Ang konteksto lang is kung talagang ayaw ng Kuwait ng mga Pilipino, pwede naman umuwi na yung mga Pilipino at tutulungan natin sila.
Sir, the said fund, yung 4.8 billion, that was originally promised for that purpose, repatriation
Hindi.
or employment?
It was promised actually for various infrastructure projects. No?
But how can that be used for such purpose?
Wala kasing specified ang China. Basta we're giving you 4.8 billion worth. You tell us or you spend it however you want it. So yan po ang naisip ng ating presidente.
Thank you, Trisha. Sir, sa Kuwait muna ulit tayo. Meron pa ba sa COA? Wala na. Sa Kuwait na tayo. Okay.
Sir, why take the blame for Cayetano po? Why did the President take the blame for Cayetano?
He's not taking the blame for anyone. He is president. Alam mo, ugali tagal ng presidente yan. The buck stops with me. So blame me for whatever is necessary. But the bottom line is we cannot afford another Demafiles. It is a duty of the state to protect our nationals. And kung ano man ang hindi nagustuhan ng Kuwait, akuin na ng presidente yan. Tapos na eh. Nag-apologize na si Secretary Cayetano for whatever it is that may have offended them. And the president is just saying, hindi namin kayo aawayin, we will respect however you will react. Pero sa mga Pilipino, kung gusto niyo umuwi, umuwi na kayo at ang pakiusap lang is tratuhin lang ng maigi ang aming mga kababayan habang hindi pa namin sila napapauwi.
Follow up, sir.
Sir, other matters po. Sir, any comment po dun sa calls ni Justice Secretary Guevara na pinagre-resign niya po yung
Call po niya yon ng Secretary of Department of Justice. That's his call.
Okay, thank you, sir. Rose cause. Okay. Sa Kuwait, sa Kuwait muna tayo, sa Kuwait. Related sa ano? Sa DOJ. Hindi, Kuwait muna tayo. Rose cause. Pagkatapos si Ted. Okay.
Sir, kasi nilinaw niyo po na status quo yung sa deployment ban. Nagkakaroon kasi rin po ng confusion sa mga OFW dahil ang unang pronouncement ng DOLE is deployment ban ng domestic workers. Pero may mga natatakot na umuwi ng mga professional na OFW kasi nga baka kasama sila sa ban. So, paki-clarify lang po.
Status quo po tayo.
So, domestic workers lang po ang
Hindi
binaban.
po, status quo po tayo kasi wala namang distinction pa eh, di ba? Yung ating deployment ban. Sa lahat pa po. Pero that's for new OECs to be issued. Hindi naman po yan kasama yung mga luma at nandoon na. Sabi nga ng Presidente, yung mga profesional, kung nais yung mag-stay dyan, mag-stay kayo dyan. Yung mga skilled workers, kung nais yung mag-stay dyan, mag-stay kayo dyan. Pero pakiusap ko nga, sense of patriotism, kasi nga sa build, kailangan din natin ng mga skilled, no? Lalo na dito sa construction industry.
Ay, sir, may binanggit din po si Presidente na mayroong 100,000 slots na i-offer ang China for English teachers. Ang karamihan ng mawawalan ng trabaho, mga domestic helpers. So, meron po bang move ang pamahalaan na para maging well-equipped yung ating mga domestic workers na maging English teachers?
I'm sure TESDA will have a program kasi karamihan naman yung mga domestic helpers, magugulat kayo, mga teachers. Karamihan dyan, titulado. No? So, I'm sure meron pong ganyang mga hakbang na gagawin ang mga ahensya ng gobyerno.
Any follow-up, Rose? Thank you. Trisha, kaya ano lang muna, kay Ted. Okay. After Ted, kay Cecil.
Daming absent ngayon na.
Hindi, kay Ted Tubiara muna. Okay.
Ted.
After Ted, kay Cecil. And we will go back to Trisha. Kuwait pa rin, Ted, ano? Kuwait.
Good afternoon, Secretary. Related sa Kuwait, kasi the President previously was saying na he threatened other countries that are abusing OFWs. Now, there's a report in Jeddah which was confirmed by DFA na may namatay na naman daw na OFW dun sa Saudi, sir. Can we get your comment on this, sir?
Basta po, prioridad ng Presidente ang bigyan ng proteksyon ang ating mga mamamayan na nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang parte ng daigdig. No? So, non-negotiable po yan. Pwede tayo humingi ng abiso para sa mga ibang bagay na nagawa natin, pero hindi po tayo hingi ng abiso doon sa pagprotekta sa ating mga mamamayan. Hindi na po natin papayagan ang another Dimafiles.
But sir, would you think na may epekto to sa relations natin sa Saudi, sir, itong bagong incident?
Alam nyo, remember, the standard other international is anong ginawa ng bayan. Hindi naman natin mapipigilan na halos milyon-milyon talagang ating mga kababayan sa nagtatrabaho, lalo na sa Middle East. Hindi natin na masasabi na walang mamamatay dyan. Ang nais lang natin, pag namatayan o pag minamatay, bigyan ng same importansya yung kaso na ating kababayan na ibibigay nila kung ang napatay ay kababayan nila. Di ba po? So yun po ating hinihingi. Huwag naman baliwalain. Tratuhin na parang nasyonal nila yung ating mga kababayan, bigyan ng katarungan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Cecil Arizabal from CNN.
Hi, sir. Sir, clarification, you mentioned that there is a ban deployment ban to Kuwait until such time an MOU is formalized or executed. So,
That's not news po. That's been our status quo. That's been the position of the government.
yeah. So, ibig sabihin talagang there will be an MOU, hindi ba siya parang bilateral agreement or relations? Hindi ba non-binding ang MOU?
No.
So, what happens if...
No, let me correct you there.
Yeah.
A treaty is a treaty is a treaty, regardless of how you call it. If it's executed by and behalf of states in writing, governed by international law. So, kahit ano po ang tawag doon, it is binding.
So, talagang may possibility that there will be an MOU to be
Yan po ang
formalized?
gusto natin makita.
Okay. So,
In addition pa po to sa employment contract na ating mga manggagawa.
Sir, I just want to ask, what happens if there will be no MOU, just in case? Halimbawa lang.
Nagsalita na po ang presidente, hindi na po tayo magpapadala ng mga bagong mga manggagawa sa Kuwait.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
sir.
thank you, Cecil. Last question on Kuwait. Tapos shift tayo sa Tricia, GMA.
Sir, may I just go back to the funding from China? Clarification lang, sir. Di ba we already have previous repatriations from Kuwait? Has this funding been already touched po? Or?
Hindi ko po alam, pero ang iniisip ni Presidente nga, kung kinakailangan na malakihan na repatriation, yun ang gagamitin niya, 5 billion.
So
At ang sabi naman ni Secretary of Finance, kayang-kaya naman yan kasi pag nag-charter ka naman ng isang eroplano, parang ang halaga ng isang upuan $400 lang ata. So kung ilang flights yun, kakayanin. Ang usapin pa nga, di mag-arkila ng mga cruise ships para libu-libong mailagay. No? Pero ito po, again, ay voluntary yung mga gustong umuwi.
Question?
Sir, last na lang po, clarification again. So, sir, if in case walang maging MOU, tama po bang sabihin na baka doon maging permanente yung ban on
Walang
deployment?
permanente po. Basta walang MOU, walang lifting of the deployment ban. Misleading naman kasi pag sinabi natin permanent. Common meaning of permanent is nakaukit na yan sa tadhana. Goodbye. Pero hindi naman po ganun. It is conditional to the signing of an MOU.
Thank you, Tricia. Other matters, ibang issue kay si Raymond. Raymond Tinasa from Bombo Radio. Other matters, Bombo. Mike, please.
Hi sir, good noon. Sir, bukas gugunitahin yung Labor Day. I understand the President will be leading the celebration sa Cebu. Sir, do we expect something like good news para sa mga nasa sektor ng paggawa from the President? Considering na hindi na nga matutuloy yung executive order.
Napakadami namang good news na ibibigay ng Presidente. First time, libreng tuition sa state universities and colleges, libreng patubig, libreng... dami niya na mga ngayon lang binibigay ni Presidente. Pero mamayang hapon po magpupulong si Secretary Bello at saka si Presidente for whatever may be released tomorrow in Cebu.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Rose, other issue? Okay. Rose goes. Mike, please.
Good afternoon po ulit. Sir, reaction po ng Malacañang sa nirelease na narco-list ng PIDEA?
Well, that was upon orders of the President. I have a partial list if you want to see. But I don't have the full list. As you can see, it's a very long list. So the information is being released to help guide our voters to choose wisely their barangay captains. No? So I have here quite a number of names. No? Mostly barangay captains who are in fact in the list of those allegedly involved in illegal drug activities.
Okay, sir, nirelease po yan para mag-guide yung voters. Pero paano po pagka yung kamag-anak ang tumakbo sa halip na sila?
Bahala na po yung butante. Nasa butante na po yan.
Okay po. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rose. Last two questions. Okay, follow up, Raymond. Tapos si Badet. Okay.
Sir, dun lang sa follow-up. Bakit ginawa ng PIDEA, samantala ang last word from the President ay huwag muna, not yet time to release the list barangay officials involved, allegedly,
I
in
guess
drugs.
nagkaroon ng confusion yung context ng sinabi ni Presidente. Remember, it was already late in the morning, no? Early morning na, no? So kung titignan yung transcript, parang he was referring to yung pagbabalik ng mga OFWs. Parang yun yung context na sinabi niyang wag muna, may inaantay pa, no? Pero PIDEA, upon his instruction, released as scheduled today at 9:30 nung wala naman silang nakuhang kahit anong mensahe, no? From the President or from SAP.
So, are we sure or confident na wala namang batas na nalabag dito, especially sa batas may kinalaman sa election?
I'm not aware of any law that was violated.
Thank you, Raymond. Last question, Badet. Okay. One more. Okay.
Sir, sa Labor Day lang po, totoo po ba na may hope pa rin po ba na masasign yung EO on contractualization daw po? Kasi sabi daw po ni Bello sa labor groups, may hope pa daw po na masign yung EO.
I can confirm that there might be an EO that may or may not be signed, depending on their meeting tonight.
Okay, sir. Other matters po, sa NFA naman, sir, kasi nasabi po ni Duterte na okay lang daw po na malugi tayo kapag dun regarding po sa buy high, sell low policy po ng NFA, sabi po ni President, okay lang daw po na malugi tayo. Kahit na, ibig sabihin kasi, sir, ng pagsunod ng NFA sa policy na to, mag-i-incur po sila ng billions of debts, di ba po? Yun po yung problem.
Sabi kasi ng Presidente, kaysa naman kumita pa ang dayuhan at dayuhan ang kikita pag bumili tayo sa labas, edi gastusin na natin sa Pilipinas ang kumita ang mga magsasakang Pilipino. Ganun ang rationale doon. Pag tayo nag-import, 250,000 metric tons, that's 6 billion payable to foreign farmers. Yung 6 billion na yan, di bigay natin sa mga Pilipino, ganun din yun. Taasan natin yung presyo, walang pagkakaiba, wala pang korupsyon, walang kahit ano, di ba?
Sir, paano po yung utang po? Ano pong plano ng gobyerno po doon? Utang po ng NFA? Kasi
Hindi ko alam kasi kaya nga maraming issue sa importation kasi talagang hindi nababayaran yan every time we import on a G2G basis. No? That's really government subsidy. Kaya nga, kung mamimigay rin naman tayo ng pera, bigay na natin sa mga Pilipinong mga magsasaka.
Okay, sir. Tapos, sir, clarification lang po. Doon sa pag-scrap po ni President ng quotas po sa rice imports, was he referring po sa QR po?
Tinanggal na po yan kasi dati po based on quota yung importation. Ngayon po magiging based on, ano ba yung sinabi ni Yusek Puyat? Ngayon po it will be by tender. They will have a tender system. Wala na po yung quota-quota. Kasi quota may discretion pa kung na sino makakatanggap ng quota. Ngayon, tender system na po.
Okay. Sir, last na po. Can the President really scrap import quotas immediately? Isn't it that the law should be amended first?
Ang quotas po, kapag tayo nag-scrap, that's in fact doing better than our international obligation. Kasi nga po, mas gusto ng iba na may mga quota-quota, no? Dahil ang trend nga ngayon, dapat tarification. Yung tarification naman po, tapos ng Kamara, nasa Senado na yan, no? Na talagang completely, wala na talagang quantitative restrictions, puro tariff na lang ang i-impose on imported rice. No? So that's the one covered by law. Pero yung pag-alis po ng quota na mag-i-import on a government-to-government basis, that's within the power of the President.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thanks for that. Sir, pwede ba last 3 questions? Can you still
Dami
accommodate?
naman yan, last 3
last
questions.
two.
Sige, okay lang. Sige,
Okay,
bilisan
last
mo
3,
lang. Go.
Briefly, Sheila, Nestor, and Ayla.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, for Palace reaction lang sa recent SWS, there are fewer Filipino who are hungry in the first quarter of 2018. Why do you think there is a drop, and what are the programs of the government that may have attributed to this?
Obviously, there's fewer people perceiving themselves as being hungry because there are fewer Filipinos who are hungry. Change has come.
Okay, thank you,
Next
Sheila.
question, please.
Nestor, Inquirer.
Morning, sir. Sir, the President said that he has offered a 60-40 sharing deal on the joint exploration in the West Philippine Sea. So yung offer yan was made during the bilateral meeting with President Xi Jinping?
I don't think it was. I did not hear that. No, it was not, if that's a question.
He made the offer. He made it public during a speech in Davao City before he left for Singapore. Sir, so
Yes, but he did not mention it when he had bilaterals and I was in the bilaterals, no?
Sir, so any update on this? May instruction na ba siya sa Congress since I believe Congress is the one in charge to set the framework for the said
No.
agreement?
Under Labugal, the president is allowed. Yun nga ang pagkakamali ng mga self-professed and proclaimed experts. Basahin ninyo ang Labugal versus Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Allowed na po yan. Hindi lang po, yung majority opinion po dati, nabaliktad. Yung majority opinion ng una, si Ombudsman ang sumulat. Sabi, hindi po pwede hanggang financial and technical assistance lang mabibigay nila. Nabaliktad po yan. Ang sumulat ng ponensya, si dating Chief Justice Panganiban. Allowed na po yan. Hindi na po pinag-uusapan yan. Ang requirement ng saligang batas lang, bigyan nyo naman kami ng kopya ang Kongreso pag meron na kayong kasunduan na nakasulat.
Okay.
So
Yung mga nagsasabi pong illegal yan, basahin ang kaso ng Labugal at kung ayaw niyong basahin, wala na akong magagawa. Wala pong gamot sa ayaw magbasa ng batas.
Okay,
sir. Sir, so when do you expect the joint exploration to start?
Ay, ko nga, to benefit companies with listed shares? Ewan ko. Tikum.
Okay. Thank you, Nestor.
Baka
Last question.
mamaya habulin tayo ng PSE.
Thank you, Nestor.
Di ba?
Thank you. Last na, Laila. Last question.
Si Laila. Pinagbigyan mo si Nestor, di mo bibigyan si Laila? Laila, ikaw iwan mo kami balita ko Hindi, lalagyan ka namin ng tanikala. Ay nako, sasabihin na naman repression. Ayaw ka lang namin umalis dahil love ka namin. Ikaw talaga.
Nandun lang naman sa Senate, sir.
Ha? Ay.
Sir,
lilipat na.
unahan na kita, sir, doon.
Okay,
Sir,
go.
Sir, on the comfort women issue, the President said upon arrival that Japan has apologized to the Filipinos and they have certainly made much more in terms of reparation. Sir, what does this mean? Does this mean the government will no longer support any calls from the comfort women for an apology and compensation from Japan? Kasi the President said in 2016 that he's willing to bring up the matter with Prime Minister Abe.
Well, ang pagkakaalam ko, ang posisyon niya, hindi niya desisyon yung pagkakaalis ng estatwa, no? At natanggal naman daw yan dahil merong problema sa flood control, no? At siyempre po, yan din ay proyekto ng city government ng Manila, no? So, ang alam ko, ang sinabi lang niya sa Davao ay hindi nga niya naalaman na may estatwa niya, so nagulat siya na natanggal na yung estatwa.
No, sir, but my question isn't about the statue, but our position on the call of the comfort women on whether the government will support them in their plea to get an apology and compensation from Japan.
The Supreme Court has a decision, unfortunately, in this matter. And in fact, I was counsel to the comfort women. I lost the case. And the Supreme Court has said, pacta sunt servanda. The 1948 peace pact has barred any and all further calls for reparation. That's the jurisprudence. Okay?
Okay na. Sir, tingnan niyo si Ted. Baka sabihin, ako lang na Okay pa ba kay Ted, sir?
Ted, okay na. Okay naman yung buhok mo Ha?
Last
Ikaw
day
din,
na,
alis
sir.
ka rin. What is it about me? Linayasan niyo ako lahat, ha? Magpapari ka na? Totoo? Oh my gosh, Chona, kasalanan mo yan. Anong ginawa mo at gusto niya magpare, ha? Kasalanan mo yan. Totoo ba yan? Magpapari ka na? Okay.
Relatedly, Secretary, is the President still willing to entertain talks on reconsidering the case of Sister Fox? Kasi I believe CBCP has stopped Sanbeda lawyers to talk to the President about the case of Sister Fox.
I do not know. I honestly do not know. But, it was Secretary De Lima who made the law, made the rule, and the President is just implementing a rule approved by Secretary De Lima. Okay?
May chance na mabago?
I cannot tell.
Will he
But we'll
entertain-
see because the Sanbeda people will be here in Malacañang, if I'm not mistaken, day after tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay?
Sir, pahabol lang, isa na lang daw. Sir, lilawin lang natin, sir, hindi natin pinuputol yung ating diplomatic ties with Kuwait. Sino pong ipapalit kay Amba Villa para may mamagitan sa ating mga OFWs? Charge the affairs.
Wala pong vacuum doon. Meron po tayong charge the affairs doon. Okay? So tuloy-tuloy po ang ating diplomatic ties with Kuwait. Hindi ko po alam kung sino pang papalit. Siguro naman merong proseso naman sa DFA para sa pagpili ng kapalit niya sa Kuwait.
Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson.
Thank you
Atty.
very much.
Roque.
Good afternoon to all of you.
Thank you. Back to Radyo Pilipinas and PTB4.
Yung list.